Okay, so this afternoon I'm going to go over the groundwork elements of the Pasadena Horse Association's trail horse test. The groundwork elements include walking or leading your horse at the walk, stopping, backing, lunging at the junior level, lunging at the walk, at the senior level, lunging at the walk and a second speed, and the master level, lunging at the walk, a second and a third speed. The other two elements that are included in this test are yielding the hindquarters or turning on the fore, and yielding the forequarters or turning on the haunches. So I'm going to go over each one of these with you and show you what it should look like, and in some cases I'll show you how I get my horse to do it. So let's get started with the basic leading exercise. What we're going to do is we're going to walk. I don't really care if you're at one of my tests whether you lead here right beside your horse's eye, or if you are like me and you like to lead with your horse back 4 or 5 feet. The main thing is that you're not having to tug on your horse. He's not tugging on you. He's maintaining the distance that you set him at, whether it's right beside you or like this behind you. The bottom line is I want the horse to be calm and attentive to what you're asking him to do. So, for example, the most basic way to put it is to show you, and that is to walk forward. And you may be asked to walk around the arena. You may be asked to do turns. And when I turn my horse to the left, I expect them to hurry their rear end up so that they can keep up with the front. They can stay with me. Now he kind of overcorrected there. He kind of overdid it. He was probably expecting me to continue around in a circle. We're going to stop. I expect him to stop when I stop. When I start to back up, I want him to back up without a cue. Basically, I want the horse to synchronize with me and do what I do. Now, the lead rope is just laying in my hand, okay? There's not any real pressure on him one way or the other, forward or backwards. Now, at the junior level and the senior level, you're allowed to use a training aid, riding crop, dressage whip, or something like that, to ask the horse to back up. At this level, at the master level, you're not allowed to use anything, and the horse should just be responding to your body language. Okay? So that's that. Pretty self-explanatory. The next thing that we want to do is the lunging exercise for the junior level. And what we're going to do there is we're going to ask the horse to lunge around at the walk. And I'm going to call it 2 and 2 with a reverse in the middle. So we're going to go around, and this applies to every speed that I talk about in the test. We're going to make 2 circles around me, reverse, and then 2 circles in the other direction. So every time I change speeds, I'll do the same thing again. So you should be able to see it. I'll call it out when I do it. Now, we're going to ask our horse just to walk off in a nice, quiet circle. There you go. Nice and slow. Just keep walking. There you go. That's it. Nice and easy. So you want 2 circles at the walk, and then I'm going to step in front and ask him to change direction and continue walking the other way. Walk. There you go. Okay, so that completes I'm not talking to you. So that completes the junior level lunging. So for the senior level, I need a second speed, which is right there. That's plenty fast right there. Just hold that. And we'll ask him to do 2 laps there, 2 circles there. That's 1. And then we'll do a reverse right about here. Step in front, change directions, and second speed. So I'm going to ask him just to relax right there and keep going in the second speed, please. I'm going to ask him to keep going 2 more laps because he's used to listening to me talk to him, and sometimes when I use the word there, he thinks that he's finished. So I'm going to let him just continue around so he's not anticipating. And I'm going to change directions again. And this time, I want him to get in a 3rd speed. Now I'm going to get in front and change directions. I want him in his 3rd speed. There. And that's it. Ooh. Right there. Just wait right there. So, back up, please. So that is we did the leading, stopping, backing, lunging, all 3 levels. And now we're going to do the yielding the hindquarters or turning on the 4. So what I like to do when I yield his hindquarters is I like to get about right behind the shoulder, right about here. And I like to move away from the horse about arm's length so he can see my cue. Of course, I can turn his nose and I can drive his hip around, but I'd like for him to work off of my cues. At the junior level, you've only got to be able to take 1 or 2 steps, crossing over in the back, once or twice. At the senior level, you have to do a full 180 degrees. At the master level, you have to do 360 degrees. So, let's just start out at the junior level. I'm going to stand back here about like this. I'm going to lean over and look at his hip. 1, 2, that's good right there. So he took an extra step or 2, and that's okay. That's all right. So that's him, that side at the junior level. And we'll get on this side and do the same thing. I'm going to be about arm's length away. I'm going to look at his hip and ask him to step over 2 steps. Whoa, right there. So he just passed the junior level at that particular exercise. So now I'm going to ask him to do this at the senior. I'm going to do the senior and master together. Step over. Good, 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 good. Ooh, good. Sometimes they get a little excited doing the yield in the hindquarters. So it just takes some repetition to get that down to where they're not going to be so excited about it. I'm going to ask him to step over on this side now and yield his hindquarters. And I want him to pivot as much as possible on this front right foot. Like that. There. Good. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but during the test, you're going to get a couple of tries, usually 2 attempts to do an exercise. So, and we're going to take the highest score. that you make on that exercise. All right, so the next exercise we're going to do is yielding the forequarters or turning on the haunches. Now, there's more than one way to get this done. So anyway, I'm going to have a hand here, and I may turn a couple of fingers around this, wrap a couple of fingers partially around this halter rope. But I'm going to use my hand like this, okay, almost like a claw. And I'm going to use that to push and create pressure against his jaw. Obviously, it doesn't hurt, but he'll feel those finger points. And I'm also going to do the same thing right here. And I'm going to encourage him to move his shoulder away from me, which should cause him to step over in front of this left front foot. Now, it may take 1 or 2 steps to get things going. Don't worry about it. At the junior level, you only need 1 or 2 crossover steps. At the senior level, you have to do a 180. Master, you have to do 360. So let's just ask him to step over. And there's 1, 2. Good. Good. So that's junior level. So we're going to continue on, and I'm just going to do the master level, turning on the haunches or yielding the forequarters. And I'm going to end up right back where I am now, or maybe even a little past it. Step over. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on around and around. And there. So I'd rather get too many steps than not enough. Okay? I'll do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm going to ask him to step over. And 1, 2. There's my junior level. Okay? That's all you have to do. Actually, you only need 1. 1 good crossover. So, I'm going to ask him to do this at the senior / master level. He broke his pattern there. So I would have used that as my practice attempt, okay? And the only thing he did wrong was he got about 2/3 of the way around and he shuffled or stepped behind the other foot instead of stepping in front of it like this. So if I'm judging that at the master level, I'm going to mark it down. I want him to cross over every step. So having said that, I'm going to ask him to step up here, and let's do it again. Good. Much better. Okay, so you see how that works? So what we're trying to do is establish a horse, train a horse that is going to be responsive and safe and not pushy, and he's going to take care of you on the trail. He's going to pay attention to your body language so he can make adjustments for what you're trying to do. Okay? And even if that means just stepping out of your way when you need some extra space. So I'd encourage you to get involved in this Pasadena Horse Association's Trail Horse Test. It's a great program Rick Schaefer and Virginia Foster put together. It's managed through the Recreational Rider Program at the PFHA. I love the program. I love all the elements of the program. And I think you will too if you'll get involved. If you need any help with any of these lessons, contact me at horsemanshipclinics.net or contact Rick Schaefer. If you look at the PFHA website, you will see a complete list in Appendix D of the Trail Horse Test rules. In Appendix D, there's a list of all the recognized judges that are part of this program. So depending on where you live, contact somebody. Most of those judges will also do clinics and training, if not all of them. So avail yourself of those opportunities and get with somebody to help you. You'll see in the other elements of this program that I'm going to show you on video that at the senior and master level, things get more difficult. We get involved in leg yield, side passing. We do all of these exercises that we just did under saddle as well. And then, of course, there's the trail and obstacle element of the program. So it's a lot of fun. I encourage you to get involved. Thanks for watching.